Hey everybody, welcome to the VJ Network. Thanks for stopping by. And a very special thank you to everybody that voted for this week's theme. My only regret is that there wasn't a single vote for Doctor Who. Well, maybe next time, so stay tuned for a possible other poll if I ever get stuck and can't figure out what to do. But for right now, let's use the slingshot maneuver and travel back in time to the year 2009. This is the year we get to see the revitalization of the Star Trek franchise as J.J. Abrams brings us this visually beautiful movie and a new take on the formation of the bridge crew that we all have come to love and know. Captain Kirk, Spock, Scotty, Uhura, Chekhov, and of course Sulu. Now in this movie, our heroes are paired up against a time-displaced Romulan captain by the name of Nero, who has a grievance against the Federation and Spock from the future because, according to him, they allowed Romulus to be destroyed when a star went supernova. Now the movie culminates in a big battle against Nero and the Enterprise over Earth as they try to stop Nero. And of course they do succeed, and as Nero's ship is being destroyed and ripped apart by essentially a black hole in the center of it, we find Captain Kirk and Spock on the bridge of the Enterprise, and Kirk reaches out to Nero and says, "Your ship has been compromised. All hands will be destroyed unless you get assistance, which we're willing to provide." Now the comic relief here is Spock saying, "Captain, what do you think you're doing?" And Kirk saying, "I'm showing compassion. It may be the only way to garner peace with the Romulans. It's logical, Spock. I thought you'd appreciate that." And Spock says, No, not so much, not this time. However, it doesn't really matter because Nero's reply is, "I would rather see the Romulus die 1,000 times. I would rather suffer an agonizing death to accept help from you." And of course, Kirk obliges and they finish off Nero's ship and escape just in the nick of time with the ship and crew all intact. The thing is, why, Nero? Why not save yourself? Or at least your crew? But he was so filled with hate and vengeance that he couldn't even see straight to see that everything that he'd fought for was going to completely disappear. And you have Kirk, and Spock for that matter, on board the Enterprise. I mean, this guy, by all rights, deserved what he got, right? He blew up Vulcan. Spock watched his mom die. Nero killed Captain Kirk's father, and here he was, over top of Earth, about to give it the same fate as Vulcan. And only moments ago, he had his hands around Kirk's neck, trying to kill him. And still, Kirk put out his hand and said, "We can help you. Let us help you." And he refused. Sometimes I look back, even over my own life, and I notice all the times that God kept saying, "I'm here to help you. Just let me." And oftentimes we have our own decisions that we want to make. We have our own ideas about what's right and wrong, or even our own ideas about whether God exists or not. But over and over, repeatedly, He offers that hand of salvation and offers to help us out. Not just individually, but as human beings. You know, He sent Jesus as the ultimate sacrifice, the ultimate payment for our transgressions. In the book of Ezekiel, there's a story that's played out. It says that when you know that an enemy is coming against you, you set up a watchman. And the watchman, when he sees the enemy on the move, will sound the warning horn. Now, if the people who hear that warning and they make amends and they pick up and they move, they can save themselves. They can be freed from the attack. But if they hear the warning and they don't obey it, then their death is on them. Now, he also goes on to talk about the watchman. What happens if the watchman doesn't even give the warning? Well, the watchman is even more to blame at that point, isn't he? He's talking about us and our friends. Like when we go to someone and say, "Hey, you're doing something wrong. You need to step back." Or if we see someone doing something wrong and we don't do anything at all. So we play both parts of that role sometimes in our lives. But God is faithful. And even in 2 Peter we find out that God is not slow to provide for his promises, and he's not slow to judgment. But he's patient with us because he would rather not anyone perish, but that all would return to repentance. Something to think about. Hope you guys had a great day. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have comments or questions or an idea for a theme, you can leave them in the comments below or email them to the address at the end of the video. Take care, guys. JLY.